Hi, Math 30-2's lesson 4 today in logical reasoning and set theory. We're going to take a look at Venn diagrams for a second day in a row. But today what you'll notice is that we are comparing 3 sets of information, okay, not just 2. The key piece of information, as always, is where the sets of information overlap, okay, and what they all share. So today you're going to see, for example, in this first question, that's going to be the number 6 right there in the center, okay? That's the piece of information or where all 3 sets overlap and the only spot that they all share together, okay? So again, when we can find that piece of information, that is extremely important, okay? So we'll just read through some questions. It's a very short lesson, and then you'll have a lot of time to practice, ask questions to me via email, and I can get back to you, okay? And we'll make sure that this is crystal clear moving forward for you. Okay, so it says, the Venn diagram displays the results of a survey of 100 students in a high school regarding movies they watched in the last 2 weeks. So P represents the movie Perfect Chill, okay? And you can see the numbers inside that circle that represent the number of students who watched Perfect Chill. C, that's circle C, the number of students in that circle represent the number of students who watched the movie Chill. And inside circle D represents the number of students who watched the movie Dazed. Okay, so let's answer some questions here. It says, how many students watched only, okay, and that's a key word, only Perfect Rebel. Okay, so you want to go inside circle P, but only the ones that watch just Perfect Rebel. That's going to be the number here, 3. Okay, so the solution is 3, and hopefully you can see that's the only one that's just P. The other numbers of 1, 6, and 1 inside that circle are also contained in the other circles, so they've also watched some other movie. Okay, B, how many students watched Perfect Rebel? Okay, so they're just saying how many students in P. So when I'm taking a look at how many students watched Perfect Rebel, that's everything inside circle P. That's going to be the 3, the 1, the 6, and the 1. Those are all of the numbers inside Perfect Rebel. So as a calculation, 3 plus 1 plus 6 plus another 1, okay, that will give me 11, okay? Next, when I take a look at how many students watch Chill and Dazed, so there's that word and, okay? So and means it has to belong to both, okay? So when I take a look at Chill and Dazed, that's C and D, the numbers that are in both C and D would be that 6 and that's 2, okay? Both of those numbers are in both circles. So that has to be 6 plus 2, which gives me a value of 8. Next, how many students watch Chill or Dazed? So or again in math, inclusive. It can be in one circle, or it can be in the other, or it can be in both. So or means you're calculating or combining all the values in both of those circles. So this was Chill or Dazed, so everything in C or D. Those are all the numbers there that are inside both circles. So it's going to be 68 plus 1 plus 6 plus 2 plus 1 plus 17, okay? And that will give you a total of 95 students, okay? Next, how many students watched all 3 films, okay? So that's the piece where they all basically overlap. So in that one, that's that number 6 right in the middle. So the number of students that watched all 3, okay, that is the 6 on the outside, or in the inside there where all 3 overlap. Okay, F says, what does the 2 on the outside, okay, of all the circles represent? Well, it's on the outside of the circles, but it's still inside the contained U, which is the universal set. So they're in the survey, but they didn't watch any movies, okay? So what does it represent? It represents 2 students who didn't watch any of the 3 movies. Okay, and next it says, what does the number 2 on the inside of the circles represent? So that 2 right there is the one they're talking about. So they're inside circle C and D, but it's not inside circle P. So that would be the 2 students, okay, who watched Okay, what did they watch? They watched Chill and Dazed, but not the other movie. which was perfect rebel. Okay, and there you go. So that's the first question. That's how the Venn diagrams work. Okay, so nice in that question that they had it all filled out for us. A lot of times they won't. We're going to have to go and fill those values in, and that's what you'll see on the second page of today's lesson. But yeah, nice warm-up question where they give us all the values, and yeah, that's all we're expected to do there. Okay, so again, some shading like we did early on with the first day of Venn diagrams, and all they want me to circle here is A and B. So remember, A and B has to belong to both. So I want the area where A and B overlap. That's everything in here. Okay, that's A and B. In B, A or B, okay, again, that can be in A or in B or in both. So basically, or is everything. So everything in A and everything in B, okay, like so. So there is A or B, nothing on the outside. Okay. A and not B. So I want A. So let's take a look at this. So here's A. I've shaded an A, but I don't want B. So I don't want the part of that which is B. So right there. So there is A and not B. Okay. Similarly in D, I want A. So I start by shading A, but then it says and not B. Okay, so there is not B and not C. So then I get rid of that. So there is A and not B and not C. Okay, so again, any questions, forward them to me and I can hopefully explain it to you maybe in a different way. All right, this is actually the last question for today, okay? But you can see the Venn diagram is blank. We have to fill in the values, and this is where sometimes we have to do a few more calculations. So it reads like this. In Big Hill High School, 185 grade 12 students were surveyed to determine which soft drink they like to drink. So we're dealing with, if you look at the diagram, Coke, root beer, and orange. Now here's the information, and you'll see how we kind of deal with these values. Now, 25 drank all three. Okay, that's kind of music to our ears, right? That's the number that we are always after. So 25 drank all three. I'm going to put that right in the middle right away. Now, 52 drank root beer and Coke, 43 drank Coke and orange, 57 drank root beer and orange, 92 drank root beer, 150 drank Coke, and 100 drank orange. Sabine started to organize the results in a Venn diagram, starting from the inside and working out. She began by placing 25 in the center of the three circles. Okay, so that's exactly what we did. Now it says, the next part, or part A, says, explain why she placed 27 in the region immediately above the number 25. So they're saying she put 27 right here. Okay, now why would she do that? Okay, well, what is that the overlap of? That area is the overlap of Coke and root beer. Now, if you take a look at Coke and root beer, or root beer and Coke, which is the second piece of information right here, it says 52 drank root beer and Coke. That means there has to be 52 in the area where root beer and Coke overlap. That's here. But remember, there's 25 already that drink all three. So to get that number 27, okay, what you would have to do is take the 52 that drank root beer and Coke and subtract the 25 that drank all three, and that gives you the number 27, okay, that I place in that section of the diagram, okay? I'll fix this up again here. 25, and again, 27. So it does say explain why, okay? So basically the 25 that drank all three are part of the 52 that had root beer and Coke, okay? And then we can kind of keep going. It says use similar reasoning to place numbers in the region to the left and the right of 25. Okay, so what we're going to get is, if you take a look at Coke and orange next, so Coke and orange, oops, I apologize. Okay, if I take a look at Coke and orange, right, there should be 43 there. Now, Coke and orange, okay, the area that they're talking about here is here. There's Coke and orange. That's the area where those two circles overlap, and there should be 43 in there. But again, of those 43, 25 drank all three. So you're going to go 43 minus the 25. And when you go 43 minus 25, you get 18. Okay? And that's why when you fill in this Venn diagram, you're going to put 18 in there. Okay? Next, we're talking about root beer and orange. So root beer and orange, there should be 57. Okay, so root beer and orange is going to be here. There's orange and root beer where they overlap. And in that section, okay, again, there should be 57. But of the 57, 25 had all three. So you go 57 minus the 25 in the middle. Okay, and when you go 57 minus 25, you get 32. So that means I have 32 just in that area. Okay, now you move on to the last pieces of information. Okay, it says, and then that's what they say in C, continue this process until numbers have been placed in all of the regions. So what we have left is just Coke or Coke only. Okay, we have root beer only and orange only. Those are the sections of the Venn diagram that are left. So if I work on here, the 92 that drank root beer, that means there should be 92 in the circle for root beer, right? So if I want root beer, okay, which I'm going to work on, and there's 92 in that circle, that means 92 in total, but I minus the 27, I minus the 25, and I minus the 32, okay? And when I do that, you'll see you get 8. So that means 8 students had only root beer, okay? When I deal with the Coke, okay, again, that's the next piece of information. There should be 115 in the circle that is labeled Coke, but I take the 115 that are as a total in that circle and I subtract the 27, the 25, and the 18. And when you do that, you get 45. So that means 45 students had only Coke. And then very similar for orange here on the side. Okay, the number of students that had orange, it says 100 drank orange. But again, I have to subtract the 25 that drank all three, the 18 that had orange and Coke, and then the 32 that had root beer and orange. And when you do that, you will get 25. Okay, so there you go. Now, the last thing you want to do with this question is you want to add up all of the numbers in that circle. All the circles together, I should say. So you're going to add every single number that you see in that diagram, okay? And that takes us down here to part D, where it says, determine the sum of the numbers inside the circles. So when I add all those numbers together, okay, you're going to see that the sum ends up being 180. Now that's an issue because there were 185 students. So what does that mean? That means that there are 5 students not accounted for. So again, as always, we put that number inside the universal set, but outside of the 3 circles or sets of information that we're dealing with. So that would be 5 students who did not drink Coke, root beer, or orange. Okay. So now they ask us some questions about the Venn diagram. Okay, the first one says, determine how many students drank only Coke. Okay, well, we did that. So when I go up to the diagram, only Coke is this value right here. Okay, the number inside Coke that is not overlapped by any other set. So the number of students who drank only Coke, that would be 45. The second one did not like to drink any of the 3 drinks. Well, that was the 5 students that were outside the circles, but still inside the universal set, and then drank Coke or root beer. So that's anything inside the 2 circles. So when I go up here, I take a look at Coke and root beer and I add up all the numbers inside those 2 circles. So when I do that, here's what the calculation looks like. It would be 45 plus 27 plus 25 plus 18 plus 32 and then finally plus 8. And the sum of all those numbers together is 155. Okay, and that's it. So again, just another day of Venn diagrams. You get an extra set of information there. A couple more areas where the elements overlap. But again, that center piece of the Venn diagram is the key.